Monaco is definitely one of the most luxurious places to live. It's so expensive most people will only be there temporarily to vacation, and then it's back to reality. But if you're insanely wealthy, Monaco is a playground for the richest kids in the independent city-state. Cities like Monte Carlo are just another stop on the French Riviera with yacht-filled harbors, expensive casinos, and access to the finest shopping in the world. Oh, how the other half lives. As you dream about the finer things in life, make your online video watching all the greater by subscribing to The Richest. All you need to do is click on that red subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up. While you're here, be sure to leave us some love in the comment section. You might even get a shout out from The Richest in a future video. Monaco is a place where the wealthy have their own playground and tourists can feel like they're visiting their own little slice of heaven. In a world where the French Riviera is a permanent home to the glamorous life of car racing, yachts, and abundant shopping, some truly wealthy people can call Monaco home. Monte Carlo is one of the most popular destinations within Monaco, and it doesn't disappoint. You have to have some serious money in order to live there, and these wealthy families are living their best life. But it's one thing to be an adult. When you're a kid, teenager, or young adult with little responsibility and endless access to mom and dad's money, the world is your oyster. These rich kids will never know what it's like to live within a strict budget, let alone eating cheap food. Let's take a look at the lives of these rich kids who call Monaco home, and let's see how they are even living better lives than some royal families. If you had an unlimited amount of money and you wanted to get the latest in fashion, there's only one place to go besides Paris. Monaco is considered to be the luxury capital of the world, and companies from all over know this. Some of the most high-end brands have set up shop in Monaco, particularly in an area called Cercle d'Or. There are not only countless stores of luxurious brands like Dior, Louis Vuitton, and Givenchy, but there are also street merchants who are making an amazing living selling goods as well. These rich kids have no issue cleaning out some of these stores. In fact, Monaco attracts rich kids from all over the world who want the latest in fashion. It's not uncommon to leave Monaco with several pairs of $500 shoes. Monaco is known for its watchmaking, but their little timepieces aren't cheap. Be prepared to spend at least $1,000 on one of the lower-end watches. Because these rich kids want to show off their wealth, you'll often see them wearing several pairs of watches at once. Think of it as being the equivalent of wearing your money directly on your body. If you're someone who would consider themselves a car enthusiast, then Monaco is the place to be. The Principality is known for their plethora of cars as well as the Formula One Grand Prix races. When you visit Monaco, you won't find just regular old cars on the streets. You're literally surrounded by exotic cars. Rich kids of the area treat these exotic cars like they're the new toy of the week. It's not a huge shock to say that these kids also participate in their own informal racing when they want to pit their exotic rides and supercars against each other. For real, Monaco is synonymous with cars. In this sandbox, it's not just about who has the coolest car, but who has the coolest collection of cars. From Ferrari and Lamborghini to BMW and Audi to even Lincoln Town cars, there's always something new and exciting in the auto scene of Monaco. Even the people who live on a smaller income know their cars. So if you believe you can just waltz into Monaco thinking you can outsmart people on their car knowledge, think again. When you think about it, the parents of these rich kids probably require a decent amount of car smarts before they allow their young ones to go car shopping. Living on the French Riviera means that these rich kids are often enjoying a menu filled with some of the finest seafood off of the coast. This is a world where fast food does not have a major presence, so it's the fine dining restaurants for these rich kids. Monaco's climate is also amazing for growing some of the freshest fruits and vegetables that can be considered a chef's dream. So even if these rich kids decide to stay in for a meal, they will still have access to some incredible ingredients and make stellar dishes. Actually, let's be realistic. These rich kids more often than not have help around the house like cleaners and cooks, so their resident chef would be the one whipping up these great dishes. Fine dining is a staple for the rich kids of Monaco, and if they're old enough to drink, they've tasted some of the finest beverages you can find in Europe. Sure, a glass of sparkling water might cost you about 19 euros, but it'll probably be the best water you've ever had in your life. When you think about how luxurious Monaco is, it shouldn't be a surprise to find out that a good deal of television and movies are filmed in the area, especially Monte Carlo. The James Bond film franchise is a big fan of Monte Carlo's casinos, which we'll get into in a bit. Since 1961, Monaco has been home to one of the biggest television festivals in the world. So when you're watching a TV show or a movie, look in the background. It's no surprise that these rich kids can use their parents' power and influence to land them some background work without having to be an extra. Some of the most elite socialites of the area might even get treated to having a line in a famous movie. You can argue that these rich kids are living a finer life than some of the biggest known celebrities. Considering that celebrities will vacation in Monaco year-round, these rich kids have definitely rubbed elbows with some of the most famous actors, musicians, and politicians on the planet. Of course, this is all no big deal to these kids. Living off the French Riviera doesn't only mean having access to some of the finest beaches in the world, but having a boat is a pure necessity. Monaco's rich kids expand their world into multiple areas, whether it be on sand or water. But being a rich kid means that you're not using any regular boat either. You're cruising on a yacht. If you don't have a yacht and you live in Monaco, people will wonder if there's something wrong with you. On Instagram and social media, you'll find that Monaco's rich kids love taking photos of their yachts and the leisurely activities they like to participate in. One of the most luxurious things a rich kid can do on a yacht is relax in a hot tub while floating on the French Riviera. Monaco also hosts a plethora of yacht shows where people can show off some of the finest ships in the world. You can practically live in these yachts and have everything you need, all while hopping around the beaches of the French Riviera. Whether you're typing around on your latest MacBook or enjoying some fine eats and drink, life as a rich kid is as good on water as it is on land. When you live in Monaco, you're already living in one of the hottest vacation spots in the world. Rich kids from all over the world want a vacation in Monaco, so where else would the locals want a vacation? Well, they might look for a change in scenery, like heading to the mountains of Europe. Interestingly enough, Monaco did see a little bit of snowfall in 2009. Of course, it wasn't enough to stick around for long. Living in Monaco means you're already living on vacation on a permanent basis. There are endless tourist traps which can hurt the average person's wallet. But when you're a rich kid, being in a tourist trap just makes them look all the more fabulous. If anything, staying at home is ideal for these rich kids. Think about it. If you have friends in other parts of the world, you have the perfect motivation for everyone to come and visit you. If you're a rich kid who's also a homebody, living where the action is would be the best way to live. If there's anyone who's a big fan of Monaco, it's definitely Agent 007. The famous Monte Carlo casino is one for the record books, as several of the James Bond movies like GoldenEye and Never Say Never Again have been filmed at this amazing location. Monaco's casinos can easily go up against the casinos of Las Vegas. On the infamous Las Vegas Strip, you'll find a few nice casinos, but the others are a bit seedy. The original Monte Carlo casino is considered to be the grandest in the world. This, of course, attracts some amazing clientele. You'll be rubbing elbows with some of the wealthiest and legendary people in no time. In fact, you might even find your fortune in one of Monaco's 4 casinos. Everyone wants to gamble and play with their money in Monaco, and these rich kids also want in on the action. Of course, there are legal age limits of gambling. When you have that much money like these rich kids, you'll figure out how to bend some of the rules and eventually get what you want. Finally, being a rich kid in Monaco means having access to some of the most exciting nightlife in the world. From the best restaurants and clubs around, anyone who is anyone, from the wealthy, movie stars, pop artists, and more, are all using Monaco as their ultimate playground at night. It's like being a permanent member of the VIP club with amazing drinks, food, and dancing to the hottest DJs around. Plus, because these rich kids have active social media accounts, getting a freebie from a restaurant in exchange for a shout-out is just a good business decision. The restaurant gets free advertising with an endorsement from a socialite, and the rich kid doesn't even have to open their wallet. From fountains of expensive champagne that cost more than the average annual salary of Middle America, to paying top dollar for the finest seafood caught from the Riviera, the nightlife isn't only about consuming amazing stuff. It's also all about being seen by other socialites and cementing your status. In closing, the rich kids of Monaco are more special than your average rich kid you might find in the rest of the world. Because Monaco is already a hotspot for the wealthy, it's like these kids are living in the luxury capital of the world. It's like being the most popular kid in school, but the entire school is made up of popular kids. The rich kids of the area have access to some of the finest food and drinks, they rub elbows with the most elite individuals in the world, and they might even be seen in a movie or television show. Believe it or not, if they get bored with their yachts and exotic cars, they might opt to go on a helicopter ride to get around. Oh yes, when you have unlimited access to money, it's all about traveling in style. Speaking of style, you won't ever find these kids wearing threads from Walmart, Target, or even Forever 21. It's all about designer brands and making sure you're seen wearing these amazing threads. One can even say that these rich kids are living like gods among a pool of royalty. What would you do if you got a ton of money right now? Tell us in the comments. Remember, your comment might get a shout out in one of our future videos. While you're here, why not stay for a little longer and check out our next video? And before you go, be sure to subscribe to our channel and show us some love by giving us a thumbs up. Au revoir!